lovelies, today we're going to be talking about things I wish I knew before I started acting in short and student films. Let's get started. Hello my lovelies, come on in. Hi, I'm Allure. I am technically an actress. I've acted before and I've gotten paid for it before. But I've done a few student and short films, and today I'm going to just be talking about some of the things I learned while on set that I wish I knew before I ever stepped foot on a set. So, without further ado, number one, every single set's going to be different in terms of professionalism. You are not going to step foot on the same set each time. Everyone will have a different culture. It's really going to be about adapting to each culture. So a student film might be different than a union film, and even for student films, it'll be different if you're working with a freshman filmmaker versus a senior filmmaker versus a grad student filmmaker versus someone who's doing their thesis. So through all those years, people are learning. If they're towards the beginning of their filmmaking journey, their filmmaking sets are going to be a little bit less professional. They might not have all the crew and all the fancy equipment, but again, you're there to make art. So go into it knowing who you're working with and set your expectations based on that. Obviously, I'm not saying let yourself be mistreated. Don't go for that. But, you know, don't have Hollywood blockbuster expectations for a film where it's entirely funded by the student or individual. Number two, you might not ever get a copy of some of the films you do, and honestly you're just going to have to go into it accepting that fact. It's very unfortunate, it's annoying. However it happens, people don't give the film. I don't know if maybe they're just not satisfied with it. Whatever it is, sometimes you don't get the film. It's even more annoying when you're not getting paid, because it's like you did that for free and your goal probably is to get your reel together or get your supplies together so you can start auditioning for these union things. So my recommendation is, one, don't work with that person again, and two, once the film, if it does get released ever, just screen record it or use a downloader to get it from there, because they're not sending it to you. Number three, you might have short deadlines when it comes to student films. I feel like it's the same in the actual industry too from what I've seen, but just know you might get the scripts late, they might be making changes late. Whatever it is, just try to work around it, do your best. Again, everyone's learning, so it is what it is. Number four is going to be long days on set, and you're going to have to learn how to hurry up and wait. I had never heard that term before, but since learning it, I've heard it a bunch of times. But basically, it's when you're on set as an actor, you're ready to go, and you're just waiting. You're there to wait until it's your scene, but you need to be on standby and ready to go once it's your time. But yeah, hurry up and wait. I suggest for that packing something to entertain yourself, whether it be a book, if you have an iPad or a tablet or like a laptop or something that's like handheld and small that you can bring with you. Bring that, especially if you work or do something else. You can work while you wait. Again, it varies per set. You might not be waiting for that long for some sets, especially if you have your scene first. However, others you might be waiting all day to shoot one scene at the end of the day. Whatever it is, go in knowing that film days are always long, and they're going to be longer than you're thinking. Number five, I wish I knew how embarrassing it was going to be to look at some of these films. I'm still embarrassed by everything. And it's honestly just because once you are filming and you're doing stuff, you're growing and you're learning. So the stuff you did at the beginning might not be the same skill set you have now. I like it, it's cute, it's memories, but again, it's a little cringy sometimes. So don't expect what you did to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Big name actors mess up all the time, so it is what it is. Sometimes it's a hit or a miss. And also know you're learning as well, especially even if you're already seasoned, you've done 1 million films, you've made $1 million, everybody's learning and always bringing something new. So don't be too hard on yourself. Go into it willing to try your best and learn from what you see in that film. Number six, pack necessities, your toiletries, everything. You don't know what's gonna happen on set. Maybe you're outside for a scene and you're really sweating. Bring your deodorant, bring lotion, bring whatever you need to make sure you're at your best. Number 7, check in when you get there. Make sure you know who you're working with. It's good for networking to know who you're working with, maybe be able to connect with them outside of this and get to learn their names and some of the other stuff they've done. You can always like search them up and maybe eventually work with them in the future. It's always good to just be able to work with other creatives to learn their thought processes and get to know them, and eventually maybe you'll get called in for something later. Number 8, no director is going to be the same. It's always going to be different. They all have different ways they direct. Some are more hands-on, where they might even like choreograph every little thing they want to see in the scene, while others are like hands-off and they're like, you know, you just do you, it's your job, you got it, I cast you, whatever. I like a balance personally, but you never know what you're gonna get, and if you are confused about something or you're unsure about something, ask. I don't think it's ever bad to ask and get clarification. Obviously, if you're the actor, like, be able to make choices, but if it's something you're truly unsure about, again, don't mess up or be in your head just because you're confused. 9, perfecting the words. Know your lines, please. 1, for the editor's sake, so they don't have to go through all that when you're changing your lines every scene. 2, for your partner's sake, because if I'm acting with somebody and I'm reacting to their words and it's different every time, I mean, you're gonna get a different reaction every time, which is gonna mess up for the editor again, and for continuity. So, and then 3, just for the story's sake, if you're changing up the words every 5 seconds, the story's gonna change. It's not gonna be the same. It might mess up something down the line that you don't even know yet. So know your lines. It just makes everything so much easier, and it's also like, that's literally part of being an actor, is knowing what you're gonna say. Number 10, do not try to do nobody else's job. It's not your job on that set for a reason, because you weren't chosen to do that job. But I mean, not saying you can't be a director, you know what I'm saying. It's not your job that day. Watch and observe and learn. Even if you have experience being a director, a boom operator, or a producer or AD or whatever it is, even if you have experience, learn from other people. It's okay to not be that person that day. And so if you're not happy with the way a sentence is worded or the way a shot's done, again, unless you're asked, don't give your input. Don't leave everybody else uncomfortable and with a bad taste in their mouth about you. Okay? Just keep your thoughts to yourself. You can go on shoots, you can be like, oh, I don't like the way they're shooting this movie, but it's like, it's not your, I mean, you're a part of the film, but it's not your film. And it's just rude to give unsolicited advice. It's irritating. I feel like that's a character flaw. Like, if somebody's perfectly okay, they're not even harming anybody, and you're 11, you will be unsure. You might not get directions, you might not know what's going on, and it's okay. I feel like, again, like, treat it like an opportunity to grow. Don't be too hard on yourself, and know you deserve to be there. Like, you were chosen for a reason. Even if it was like you were just plucked out of nowhere and your friend's asking you to do a film or something. Again, the universe placed you there for a reason. Even if you don't have a dream of being an actor or an actress full-time or doing anything in acting, maybe it's just to better your public speaking or just be able to have a story to say you did something. You're in that for a reason. Do your best. Again, it's not going to be the end of the world. You won't die if you give a bad performance. So have fun, do you, and do your best by the character. 12, for continuity, unless the director says to change a scene up or make a different choice, try to shoot the scene the same way every time, especially when they're doing different takes or different shots. I can't think of the word. It's just good for the editor's sake. Same thing with the lines or saying the lines correctly. If you change something up too much, it's going to be noticeable in editing, and then when people are watching it, they'll notice it. There's even entire pages and blogs and Reddit pages or whatever dedicated to not being continuous or like continuity errors in movies. Number 13, you might be asked to do something different than what you were cast for. For example, I had a short film I applied to. It was a background role. I didn't have any speaking parts or anything crazy. And then I was asked if I wanted to be the lead. And of course I said yes, because, you know. But also I'd never really had any real experience in film, and it just happened. So if stuff like that happens, do what you're comfortable with. For example, if it's asking you to do something that's against your values in that role, or it's just like something as an actor that you just, you know, like nudity or something like that, don't compromise your values and morals for it. Obviously tell them like anything that's wrong, but don't compromise. yourself for it. But also, if it's something that you're able to do and you're willing to do, just know it might happen. And the final one that I think helps before I get into some terms and stuff that I wasn't sure of is be early. I always hear to be early is on time, to be on time is late, and to be late is unacceptable. And I think with stuff you truly care about, if you want to be an actor full-time or things like that, it's good to get in the habit of being on top of your stuff. I think that's really what's going to set you apart from everyone else, because when you're late, it is known, especially if they're trying to get into the scenes and get there right away, or if you have hair and makeup, you're putting everybody else behind, and it's just rude and disrespectful to people's time. So be on time, be ready to go. That's the last tip. I have some acting terms that I wish I knew, so let's get into that. The first term, I knew what it meant, but gonna clarify. So the first term is blocking. If you don't know what blocking is, it's how the scene is choreographed, or where you are in a scene or in a space. So if I'm in a room right now, my blocking would be I'm sitting on my bed and I'm chilling. You'll do blocking before you shoot the scene, and if you're with another person, you'll go through the movement in the scene. But there's something within blocking that I wasn't aware of my first time, and when they told me to go to my 1, I was just confused. So when they say go to your 1 or go to your 2, those are like the different points in blocking. So your 1 is where you start the scene, the very beginning. And your 2 is where you end the scene, or it's a second point in the scene. You might have multiple spots, but it's where you end up. So where you start and where you end up. Number 2, crafty. It made no sense to me. They were like, oh yeah, we have crafty. I'm like, okay, whatever that means. But it's just like a space or a table where they have snacks and drinks and stuff like that for the crew and for the actors. Nice space. I love me some snacks. I like food, so great. So if they say they're gonna have food and drinks on set, it's there. A wild track or a backing track is when you're in the space and you have to be quiet. You can be like this. And it's actually harder than it looks, because you're trying not to talk and breathe too loud, and once you're trying not to talk and trying not to breathe too loud, it's like you want to talk or laugh or do stuff that you shouldn't do. But anyways, it's a period where you're quiet so they can get the background noises. Like, I don't know if you can hear that airplane right there, but stuff like that, you'll hear it in the background. It's just to get the room tone, basically, to go under the audio so it's not choppy. The next one is holding, or like a holding room. That's where the actors stay while scenes are going on and they're not in it, or while they're waiting, basically. A call sheet. So this is what you're gonna get the night before, maybe a few days before, a week before, whatever. It's a sheet where you get all the information for the films. You get like contact information, you'll get the locations you'll be filming at, the times you need to be there. Like sometimes I've had some with like clothing and attire that you need to wear, just stuff like that. It'll have a bunch of information for you to know what to prepare for when you get there, where you're going, all that good stuff. Rolling, action, and cut. These sound very self-explanatory. We always hear like the action, whatever it is, but a few things about them. So rolling is when the camera's rolling or the audio is going, and that does not mean start acting, okay? That's for the camera operator and for the boom mic people. Oh, I can't think right now what they're called. But it's for the crew to get ready. Action is when you go, and action does not mean start talking immediately. So, I mean, it does, but it doesn't. Okay, so I feel like in acting classes, we always talk about the moment before. I feel like that's the perfect point for your moment before, so you don't start talking immediately and it doesn't overlap with the clapboard or the director saying action. So just wait a brief moment and then you can start talking and chatting and stuff. And then cut. This was also a surprise to me, because in acting classes, when the scene is over, it's kind of like, okay, that's a wrap, we're done. But in film, they like to wait a second before saying cut. So you might be all done with your lines, you might have did your reaction, you need to hold it and like drag it out and really feel it and sit in that moment, because sometimes they just want that extra time at the end just so they can get your reaction or your visuals, whatever it is. But don't stop acting until the director yells cut. It don't matter if it's 5 minutes later. And the final part is coverage. Coverage is kind of what I already talked about, but coverage is when they get multiple angles. So I might be looking over here, looking over here. But yeah, it's just multiple angles that the director might get of the same scene. So again, like I said before, try to deliver it the same way. But two, if you have a partner getting coverage and you're like behind the camera and you're not shown that time, still deliver the lines and do your best by your partner so they can react to you. Don't be rude and be like, yeah, I'm gonna deliver my lines like this and I don't really care about this scene because I'm not in it. Don't be rude. Do your best still. And that's really, I think that's it. I've been looking at my laptop, so if you're like, what is she looking at? My laptop down there. Alright, that is an actual wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I post a bunch of different art videos and like lifestyle videos and vlogs and all that good stuff on this channel. So if you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe and comment. I'd really I'm about to drop it. I'd really appreciate it. And that is all. That is a wrap. Oh my goodness. See y'all next time. Love y'all. Mwah.